Welcome. Today, we're diving into a really powerful partnership that's all about building organizations that are ready for the future. We're going to explore how mixing the solid structure of portfolio management with the super flexible business resilience framework isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's absolutely essential for survival. So let's just kick things off with a big question. Think about it. In a world that's always changing, are your projects actually built to last? Or are they just waiting to break under the first sign of pressure? You know that fragility? That's the huge challenge leaders are facing right now, and it's exactly what we're here to tackle.
So, why is this question so urgent all of a sudden? Well, it's because we're all living and working in what people call a VUCA world. And look, this isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's the new reality of business, and it means we need a totally new way of thinking. Okay, so what in the world does VUCA actually stand for? It's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Think of these as the four big challenges of today's business world, right? Things change in a flash, the future is a total question mark, problems are all tangled up together, and finding the right path forward, it's hazy at best. The old, rigid way of doing things, it just doesn't cut it anymore.
So how do we fight back? How do we navigate this? Well, not with just one tool, but with a real strategic partnership. So let's introduce our two key players. You've got the structured, disciplined approach of portfolio management and the adaptive, flexible mindset of the business resilience framework. This slide really breaks down their roles perfectly. Think of portfolio management as your architect. It provides the blueprint, the structure, the alignment to get things built the right way. On the other side, you've got the business resilience framework, or BRF. That's your shield. It's the risk intelligence and the adaptive thinking that protects everything you've built from the chaos of that VUCA world. And here's the most important part. These two aren't fighting each other. No way. They're literally two sides of the same coin. It's the perfect team-up of structure meets adaptability. One gives you the solid skeleton, and the other gives you the muscle and the reflexes you need to react. And together, they create something so much stronger. All right, so let's look at the first side of this partnership. How exactly does the business resilience framework make a traditional, structured portfolio even stronger? It boosts it in four really critical ways. First, your prioritization gets way sharper. Instead of just chasing the highest return, you start asking, hey, does this project actually make us harder to break? That's a total game changer. Second, risk management becomes proactive. You're not just reacting to problems, you're safeguarding against disruptions before they even happen. Third, you get real strategic alignment, making sure every single project is pulling its weight to make the whole company more resilient. And finally, your decision-making gets crystal clear. It helps leaders make those tough calls, balancing that quick win today against long-term survival tomorrow. But remember, this is a two-way street. A brilliant resilience strategy is pretty much useless if you can't actually execute it. And that's where portfolio management steps in, to give the BRF the muscle it needs to put those great ideas into action. So portfolio management brings four key things to the table. First, it handles the resource allocation, making sure your great resilience ideas actually get the money and the people they need. Second, it brings that structured implementation, using proven frameworks like management of portfolios, or MOP, to turn ideas into reality. Third, it's the master of stakeholder engagement, because resilience isn't just one team's job, it's everybody's. And finally, it sets up continuous monitoring, creating these feedback loops so you're not just setting a plan and forgetting it. You're always learning, always getting stronger. So when you bring these two powerhouses together, what's the big prize? What's the ultimate payoff? Well, the goal isn't just about having better projects. It's about building an entire enterprise that is truly ready for the future. What you get is this incredible 360-degree advantage. You get holistic management, which means you're not choosing between profit and protection anymore. You're designing for both at the same time. You unlock awesome resource efficiency because every dollar you spend is now doing double duty, driving growth and resilience. This leads to resilient growth, the kind that doesn't just fall apart at the first sign of trouble. And maybe most importantly, you build deep stakeholder confidence. You're showing your investors, your customers, and your team that you are ready for anything. So what does all this mean for you as a professional? This is a huge, huge opportunity. If you've got qualifications like the MOP practitioner, you are in the perfect spot to lead this kind of integration. By aligning your portfolios with resilience goals and by using these BRF tools to make smarter decisions, you're not just getting better at your job, you are making yourself invaluable and setting yourself up for some serious career growth. When it's all said and done, this whole thing boils down to one powerful ability: having the power to confidently navigate all that uncertainty, to prioritize the right things, and to build an organization that is genuinely ready for whatever the future decides to throw at it. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about as you go back to your own work. Just ask yourself this. Right now, today, what is the single biggest threat to your portfolio's resilience? And what's your plan to deal with it? Thanks for watching.